So, drug testing in pro sports. Taking drugs to improve yourself and your skill in sports is just morally wrong. Some players are better than others, and because God gave them great abilities. Other people have to work harder to become as good as them. We all know LeBron James. He's an amazing basketball player. We all know him. But he worked to get that good. He was given some talent. I'm not going to lie. He's amazing. But he worked that hard. And every other player out there, just like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, all the great players worked that hard. They got some God-given talent, but they worked. Just like LeBron James and everyone else who did not take performance-enhancing drugs. People use steroids to help improve their overall physical shape to make them a better athlete at whatever sport they're in. So baseball players take steroids in order to hit home runs, in order to throw the ball harder. Basketball players take steroids to jump higher and dunk harder to make the fans go crazy. But many people believe that sports should be played on an even level and no other player should have an unfair advantage over any other player. Obviously, some players are going to have an unfair advantage because of their God-given talent, but in my case, that makes me work harder. I want to be as good as them, so I try and be as good as them. I work harder in games. It motivates me more. And if the person loves their sport as much as the person that's better than them, then they would work that hard to get as good as them. And I agree and think that drug testing in sports is necessary to keep the level about the same. Obviously, there are players better than others. I've already said that. And here's what some other people think in the video I'm about to show you.
Steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs are one of the most controversial topics in sports. Have they tarnished the reputation of athletes and competitions?
How do we change the culture of what, especially young kids, are trying to do? I mean, we all played sports, we all played in college, and it got that experience, and as Dave said, there's so much to being involved in sport that has nothing to do with using a performance-enhancing drug. So you have strength and conditioning, you have nutrition, there's a lot of different things that you can do to improve your performance in a healthy and safe way.
I think we're getting better. I think our laboratory science is getting better. I think we're close to having a test for human growth hormone that will be reliable. 10 years ago we couldn't test for erythropoietin. Things that are naturally produced in the body are very difficult to test for. But now we can test for that, and that's a big victory.
You fail an NCAA drug test, it's a 365-day suspension. So the coach, should have some concern that if that's being used, then they're going to lose a kid for a whole year, and it could broach 2 seasons. So what happens in November, it's going to be the end of that season carrying over to the following November, so through the following season. So you have year-round testing from the NCAA, you have year-round testing from the Big Ten, and at our institution you have year-round testing from us.
A huge reason why people don't believe in drug testing is because they believe it costs a lot of money. And in order to solve this factor, all you need to do is put in a tax into the millions of dollars that the pro sports athletes are making. Put a tax into their check for drug testing. And there you go. You have a simple way of drug testing and making sure that the level is staying the same. Another way, if that doesn't work and the athletes are complaining too much about it, then then take a profit from all the money that's made from the arena, from maybe foods or from tickets that's being sold. Another reason why people believe drug testing shouldn't be allowed is because there have been cases where the tests have come up positive and the athlete never did take drugs. In that case, you can always just redo the test to prove that the athlete never did take drugs. I mean, if you take out the tax in the athlete's check, you'll have plenty of money. Kyle's talked about, what was your topic?
Salary cap.
Yeah, salary cap. So you got all the baseball players who are making a ridiculous amount of money because they're getting paid like an infinite amount because there's no salary cap. So if you take a tax out of their check, then you have money right there to easily do the drug test. I play sports, and I see people all around me that are better than me, and that just makes me work harder. And if anyone loves a sport as much as the next person, then they would do the same. Just work harder and get better at it.